Now, to administer the oath, it is my honor to introduce a leader who has been day in, day out, shaping our nation's foreign policy. Someone who personally understands the strength of this community. A woman who received, I think it's fair to say, a rock star welcome when she visited the continent this past April. And a woman who is the Vice President of the United States of America, Kamala Harris.
Good afternoon. Please have a seat. Good afternoon. Well, let me start by, where is Senator Coombs? There you are. Can I tell a little story about you? So, as you heard from Secretary Blinken and from the Senator himself about his commitment to the continent, longstanding, and his passion, and I think you heard that he joined me when we took a trip to the continent in March of this year to do some very important work, and in particular, you joined me in Ghana, and then the Senator actually met with a number of Ghanaian officials to reinforce the position that the President and I and Secretary Blinken have taken in terms of strengthening the relationship with African leaders in the various countries. And then the head of the state, the President of Ghana, wanted to host a state dinner in honor of my trip. And it was a black tie event. And Senator Coombs showed up wearing a kente cloth bow tie and kente cloth cummerbund, and just absolutely just had everyone in utter amazement and appreciation. So that is my story, just to highlight the commitment. You look quite handsome, Senator. But thank you, because the work that you do in the Senate, and I, as a previous member of the United States Senate, have seen firsthand, Chris, what you do and how passionately you speak on behalf of the importance of the relationship between the United States and the continent of Africa. So thank you for all that you are and do. Secretary Blinken, we have been spending a lot of time together, and I will just mention what I said at the state luncheon that we had this past week. We have in Secretary Blinken an extraordinary individual who has been tireless in the work he does to represent the values and the principles of our country around the world, but the way that he does it also by actually understanding, as our president talks about so often, the best way that we can reinforce these friendships is by being present, being there. And so the commitment and the stamina, Secretary Blinken, that you have been showing to this work, especially at this critical time in our world, is extraordinary. And so can we please applaud Secretary Blinken? Ambassador, it is good to see you. Thank you for all that you do, and to the members of Congress, to everyone who is here. I'll just speak briefly, but I do want to say that on behalf of the President and our administration, we are so excited about the convening of this council. We've been looking forward to it for quite some time. And so this inaugural meeting is really a celebration and an appreciation of who each of you is in terms of what you have done and the commitment you have made to the work ahead. And we do know that we are existing in a world where long-settled stability and principles that we thought and took for granted for so long are now all in question. And the work that we do on behalf of the United States to show our interest, our sincere interest in partnership, in understanding mutual connections, in studying history and seeing the alignment and the symmetry where it exists, is critically important to reinforcing relationships and our democratic principles. And so the work of this council will be an extension of all of that. The work of this council I'm so excited about is also the work of in some ways, reintroducing ourselves as the United States to the continent in a way that the President and I, the Secretary, and so many of us really think of it. The trip that we took in March, I was so excited about. understanding that the median age on the continent is 19. 19. 1 in 4 people who inhabit a place on Mother Earth by 2050 will be on the continent of Africa. When we combine those two facts and then think about the historical connections and the strength of the diaspora, the African diaspora, and thinking about all that in the context of what an investment now in relationships, in the connection, can mean to the future, not only of the continent, but our country and the world. The potential here is profound. And I know our enthusiasm and optimism about that potential equals what we know to be the expanse of the work that we can do. And so this inaugural meeting is really the beginning of the next phase of our commitment as the United States of America to the continent, to all of the nations on the continent, and how we can strengthen those relationships. As evidence of that, the trip that we took in March was about meeting with young entrepreneurs, farmers, leaders in agriculture. Thank you, Congresswoman. Thank you, Congressperson. Meeting with farmers, meeting with women entrepreneurs, meeting with young people who are engaged in technology, and they are incredible in terms of their innovation around a clean energy economy. Thinking about the role and the responsibility that we have as the United States that is not only about aid, but is about partnership. Not what we can do for the continent, but what we can do with. What we can do to link up leaders in a way that we maximize our vision for the future and the potential for the globe. That's how we're thinking about this council. In fact, in that trip, I was proud to pull together some of the leaders in our private sector for an investment already in the continent of $8 billion, focused mostly on women, focused on digital inclusion, as just the beginning of the work we have yet to do. So all of that to say, on behalf of the President and our administration, we are incredibly enthusiastic about the work ahead, knowing that it really is about partnership, it is about shared history, it is about speaking truth, always, in a way that can guide us toward where we need to go next. So with all of that, I thank everyone here, and I am now going to administer this oath. So I will ask all of the members of the council to stand and raise your right hand, please, and then repeat after me. Well, I'm going to say I. You can say I, and then state your own name. Okay. I do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of the office upon which I am about to enter. So help me God. Congratulations, members.